Hey guys, this is Jeremy, and I've got another episode for you guys for the website, but this one is going to look a little bit differently. So I took off the last week because my family was in town. We got to spend some time with Grandma and Grandpa, and got to really enjoy just hanging out. My parents were here while I worked, so they got to be with my youngest and my oldest and just kind of enjoying that process. And so this week, I don't have a lot of footage except for what I had filmed before they came. I didn't really record what was there because it was conversations, it was having fun with them, so I don't have much for this week. So what I did was I tweeted something out, and I also posted on Facebook, you didn't leave me any answer, shame on you. But for Twitter, I asked the question, I want to do an Ask Me Anything, and you guys responded. So I got some results for you guys, some answers to your questions of what I had to say on anything from counseling and faith to being a parent and programmer to blogging and whatever else. What color is the sky? Who knows? So I've got some answers for you guys. This whole format's going to be completely different. I have a surprise at the end. It may make me never want to do this ever again, but let me answer some of your questions. So the first question I got was from Sean Lacey. He said, how do you make time, space to record your vlogs? I have a pending list of posts to record, but no quiet space to do them in. I understand that because I have a 3-year-old, I have a 1-year-old, I have a dog that likes to bark at random points. I have a wife that is just the best, and she's definitely not standing right off camera watching me say this. And so I really just enjoy that time with them, but I realize that it is tough to record stuff like this. So I'm actually recording this at 9 p.m. And when I do the podcast, I record that at 6. So I make time in that process outside of when they are running around like crazy people. When my youngest was able to take regular naps, we would try to do it whenever they were taking naps. Sometimes I actually needed to take a nap because I was grumpy myself. So it just depended on that process. So I would say just do what you can. I don't make these vlogs 40 minutes long, and so I just try to fit it in when I can. Also have to realize that I don't do a ton of editing, but when I do editing, it's because there is some kind of background noise, and you just kind of have to think about that. So just kind of work with that process. And my son is 3 years old, so he is kind of understanding what that process looks like, and he comes down here and he stands here while I'm doing the vlog or the podcast, and he's just really quiet and he's really able to work with us. So it just depends. Chris Wilson asked, what is the best or worst or both about switching from Apple? So I actually went from an iPhone a while ago to a Samsung Note 4, and then I went from our MacBook to Windows. The best thing is that I'm not tied to the Apple hardware, and our laptop we've had for a couple of years, it's just getting destroyed. It costs a small fortune to replace, so that's annoying. My wife has her iPhone, and she's realizing the frustration with that. And to replace it's at least $100 if we want to get another iPhone, if we want to get an old iPhone. So that's the best thing. Maybe some of the difficult things is some of our parents, some of our family have it too. They love to FaceTime. And so when we want to FaceTime with them, I have to wait until my wife's home to do that. So that's a difficult thing. That's kind of a transition and ecosystem process. Definitely annoying. So Phil Schneider was Phil Schneider, and he asked the question, how do you make your face so camera friendly? Phil, Chris Wilson had one more question. He asked, what was the one thing I learned last year within church technology? One thing I personally learned within church technology is really good at gadgets and software and all that stuff. We don't know what it means to do ministry within church technology. There's a lot of people that talk about how to find the best camera or the best this and that, and we can kind of just rip people off as far as The Verge or Mashable or stuff like that. We can have those discussions. But what does it mean to do church technology, I think, is a completely different conversation. Take those things, love those things, make sure your church is set up for success, but I think also there's a whole ministry behind there. So for me, back in my mind, is what does church technology ministry look like as opposed to just operating cameras or soundboards? And I think that that is important. When you operate that camera, when you operate that soundboard, there's a ministry there, and there's more of a ministry that's just left untapped. So I look forward to seeing what that can be for the future for 2016. All right, so the last thing I want to do, I did an AMA for everybody out there. I'm going to do something completely different because other people do AMAs. This one may come back to bite me in the butt. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to ask my wife to do an AMA for me live. I don't know what she's going to ask me. All right, so my wife's here with me, and I don't know what she's going to ask me. I told her it can be anything except for maybe like some kind of her foo-foo shows she watches, which I wouldn't know the answer. I get to think about your guys' questions. I want to give her the honest question, an honest answer to an honest question. I don't know what you're going to ask me. This could end our marriage. It could make it really strong. It could be funny. It could be harmless. It could be gut-wrenching. Okay, go ahead.
Well, my question is going to be similar to Common Core math in that it is 4 parts. If you get the first part wrong, you're kind of screwed for the rest of it. So,
Okay.
But due to my public school contract, I have to say Common Core is a great thing for all students.
Okay.
First part, A. How many years have we been married?
8 years.
It'll be 8 years in December.
Yeah,
We've
that's
been
what I
married
meant.
7
We're
years.
on our way to 8. Yeah, exactly.
Part 2.
Can't do math.
What restaurant did we eat at the night that you proposed to me?
I know that I took you to the coffee shop because that was something that was very special to us. It was a Chinese restaurant. Hunan? Whew.
Part 3.
Yeah.
What did my fortune cookie say?
What did the fortune cookie say? Oh, the fortune cookie said something along the lines of, you'll want to say yes.
If your cookie isn't 2, then the answer is yes.
Yeah, which, by the way, totally did not plan. You, thought I planned that, and I did not plan that.
That's part 4. Was that?
That was Jesus moment.
Was that purposeful?
No.
No.
All right, so we're going to do more AMAs in the future.
I have
Enjoy.
a bonus question.
Okay.
Should we ever show the floor?
All right, so we may do more of these. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do this again probably. Look for tweets and Facebook. Come on, you guys didn't leave any comments. Something. Enjoy my son playing the snow. We'll see you guys.
Hi, Mom.